Hello, I'm Charles Chai from Chai's Martial Arts, and we're here today with the MPower International Association. Today we're going to introduce how to do some boxing drills, and I've got some exciting ones for you that were done by Floyd Mayweather. If you've ever seen him on YouTube, fantastic. It's not easy to do, but I've had a lot of you asking about, how can I do this? How can I do this? So I'm going to break it down, give you 4 variations to get you started. There are 16. And then from there, if you want to know more, hey, just write into MPower and they'll get me in here again and I'll bring some more with you. So assisting me today, we have Mr. Chris. He just learned these 5 minutes ago, believe it or not. So that shows you can learn them. He's going to do a great job with me here today. And we're going to introduce the first, what we call the base count, the 7. Now when in doubt, you always come back to the base count. So what it's going to be is 7 punches. It's an uppercut to a hook, cross, then uppercut, cross, hook, cross. Now, of course, you want to build up a little rhythm and speed with it, and it's a continuous punching pattern. So we'll demonstrate that. Okay, now one of the first things people always say is it's not really hitting very hard. Well, the whole point behind that is to get you used to punching continuously and quickly. If you load up and throw hard punches, a lot of times you can be out of balance and it's hard to throw the next punch. So the idea here is to get you used to punching continuously over and over again before we add the next sequence. Now, the faster you can do it, the better. And remember, don't punch hard, punch fast. Now, our first variation is called the high-low. So in the high-low, you're going to cover high. I'm throwing the right hand. Then I'm throwing a jab to his body, which he's going to block low with his hand. He's going to come back with a right cross, come underneath, and then go cross, hook, cross. So once again, high, low, cross, bob and weave, cross, hook, cross. One more time, block high, block low, throw the cross, bob and weave, cross, hook, cross. So we start with our base flow, add pattern 1. High, low. High, low. Okay, that gives you an idea. Now remember, there's 16 of these, so when you put all the patterns together, it gets really exciting because the striker doesn't know really what you're going to do next. And remember, as the coach, you have to feed him properly so that he knows what to do. I have always said that probably the hardest part of doing focus mitts is for the pad holder. He's got to get the pads in the right place so he can strike properly and not hurt himself. And remember the 3 P's of practice. Preserve your partner, please. He's got to last, okay? So once again, our first pattern, high, low, he throws across, under, cross, hook, cross. Now our second pattern is called get under. Get under is 3 bob and weaves. So you do 2 bob and weaves, 1, 2, come back with a hook cross, bob and weave one more time, cross, hook, cross. So the coach will say get under. One more time, get under. Okay, now if we put that into our base flow, get under. It's challenging, right? But I want to give Mr. Chris all the credit I possibly can because he's learned this 5 minutes ago. Okay, now if we put those 2 together, let's see how we do. Base, high, low. Get under. Isn't that great? Okay? Now let's put a third pattern. This one is called pull. When someone punches at your face, the natural reaction is to pull back. So we do the same thing in boxing. I don't recommend you do it too often because your opponent can pick up on it, but every once in a while mixed in, it's a good technique. Okay, so he pulls away, comes right back with that right hand, bob and weaves under, cross hook cross. Pull. Pull. Oh, got you that time. Ready? Pull. Good, okay. We mix it into our base. Pull. Right back to base flow. Pull. Pull. I think he's doing great. Now, if we put all three of those together, let's see what happens. Base flow. High, low. Let's try again. High, low. It's okay. Anytime you're working with patterns like this that are extremely difficult, you should be teaching them over a course of different classes. Right now, he's under the spotlight because he's got to learn 4 patterns in about 10 minutes. So sometimes you have to be patient with your students as well. They're not going to pick these things up in one day, but the value from doing it will last a lifetime. So once again, base flow. High, low. Get under. Pull. And now we have 3. Do one more for you today, and then we're going to say, what happens if I'm punching this guy and he's had enough of it and he takes me to the floor, which would be the next part of the striking. Okay? So, last one, he's going to slip outside of my jab. He's going to come back with that overhand right, then he's going to bob and weave under, come back with a cross hook cross. Slip. Slip. Hoop. Slip. 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 Okay, now let's add it into the base flow and see how we do. Slip. 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 Oh, almost slip. Now, let's see if we can put the 4 of those together into a longer flow. And that'll give you an idea of where we're going with this drill. Okay, ready? Base flow. High, low. Get under. Pull. Slip. And that can give you a general idea of where we're going with this. Now, once again, it's going to take a little bit of practice. You're going to have to do it 1,000 times to get familiar. And as Masayama always said, 10,000 to make it yours. All right, now there's only a couple things that can happen when you're striking with an opponent. If you're punching him in the face, you're landing your shots, it's either 2 things. Either he's going to cover really good, and I'm going to have to take him down because I can't land the punches, or he's getting tired of getting hit, and he's going to take me down. All right? Now let's look a little bit. Okay, so if I'm punching him, he comes down, he gets me, he does a double leg. I hope I'm still in the camera, and I'm on the floor. I pulled guard successfully. We know at this point he's going to start to punch me in the face. All right? So when you're punching, you should always tick-tock with your body. So if I'm really still, he can close his eyes and hit me. But if I'm going back and forth like this, it's doing 2 things. It's destroying his base by me pulling. You can see his body shift. And it's also making my head a moving target. So as he's punching me, what I'm going to do is block and punch. Then I'm going to pull down with my hand as I put my foot on his hip and bring my knee over his shoulder. That'll put his head right there in my striking range. So I'm gonna do 3 punches. 1, 2, 3. If I don't have gloves on, I might use palms. 1, 2, 3. If his body is close enough, now Mr. Chris is a little bit longer than I am, so I probably wouldn't reach him with the elbows, but just for demonstration purposes, 1, 2, 3. And an illegal shot in MMA, but it works great on the street, is 3 ridge hands on the back of the neck. 1, 2, 3. Comes back up. I start my pattern again, trying to get out of the way. Catch him here. I block and strike at the same time. My foot comes to the hip. I pull his arm in. Knee on the shoulder. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ridge hands. 1, 2, 3. Back up into guard, and I play tick-tock again. And you practice this over and over again until you get good at shifting and can avoid getting punched. Now, a lot of things that we do in there is just letting your student get good at one part or another. So if I'm in his guard and I'm feeding him, I'm taking my time. I want him to tick-tock with his body. So if he's shifting his body from side to side, I'm just gonna throw punches a little bit so he gets to do it. Then he might feed me to say, faster. Okay, if he wants it, I go a little faster according to what he can do. Never go faster than what the student can handle. And make sure that all the partners that pair off together, they understand that. You don't want one guy blitzing it at high speed and the other guy just started 2 weeks ago. That's going to be a catastrophe. Now, the other scenario that can happen is I take him down and I'm in his guard, okay? I can strike from here, but once again, knowing the dangers of what he can do for me in strike, I'd rather do what we call controlled striking. Now, in controlled striking, what first thing I have to do is I know he can punch me here. See, I can hit him, but he could hit me back. So I want to get control of his biceps. In holding a guy on the biceps, the only danger of him getting out is what he calls swimming the hands underneath your arms. So you do want to keep your arms in, but that doesn't guarantee he's not going to be able to do it. But in this particular case, I'm going to bait him. I'm going to let him swim one arm in, and I'm going to reach up and I'm going to catch his wrist. I'm going to hold that wrist against his body. Now, if he's got gloves on, it makes it even easier to do. I'm going to bring my elbow up and over and just release this arm enough where he thinks he can get it away. Because when that elbow's coming towards his face, he's going to want to block it. As he blocks it, I grab, pull it across, and I either elbow or punch. Now he engages the other hand. Now you're going to pull this across. Now, not across his face, because this leaves this hand open. Pull it across his arm, which will make him struggle to get it free. I've only got a second, so I'm only going to get 1 or 2 shots. He's going to get it free. You're going to pull it back and cross. And you can play this game all day until he figures he's going to have to push you off to get away. Now, you're going to land some of the shots, not all of them. But that's the name of the game. It's like chopping down a big tree. You swing once, it doesn't go down. What do? Keep chipping away until it finally goes. All right, that's called arm crossing and trapping. The next one, starting in the same way, is I want to get a little short punch. Sometimes little short punches work good, particularly on the floor. So what I do is I lean forward and I'm going to drive my head into his face. Still keeping good control of the arms, keeping my elbows in to make it hard for him to swim inside. As I push into his face, you see he turned his head because it's not comfortable. Here's my short shot. 1. If he turns the other way, I can hit him with the 1. I usually always hit 1, 2. Okay? 1, 2. Now, what will happen is eventually, as I'm hitting him, he gets that arm free. I come back. I'm still thinking the same thing. Trap that arm, throw the punch, start my pattern again. Arm crossing until I can get my bicep, start grinding again, hit, hit, hit. Hand gets up, boom, boom. And you see you've got 2 drills that can be linked directly together for striking in his guard. Now, what about striking in the mount? What about striking in the crossbody or side control position? Tune in next time with MPower International Association and you can pick up more tips like this. This is Charles Chai signing off from MPower.